I was just thinking, it's a good idea to masturbate every time we put on the lotion. We put on the lotion to adhere and moisturize, to moisturize the penis head and adhere the cotton cloth cap that we cut off from the end of a picante underwear, Pikante. The lotion, which contains some beeswax and oil and silver particles, nano silver particles for colloidal silver, and then whatever optional items like salt and MSM. I have two different lotions because they're two different batches of two different ratios of beeswax and oil. Sorry for the shakes. That's what happens when you get to be 60 or 70 years old. Actually, I have the body of a 70-year-old, but that's a whole other story. So one of the problems of old age is we don't have the penis, or yeah, right, we don't have the penis of our youth. We don't have the testosterone. We don't have the hormones. We don't have the circulation, most importantly. And so, since I'm taking baths in silver hydroperoxide with MSM and various mineral salts of my choice, that's good. Get silver into the body to help stimulate spontaneous regeneration. But who's to say the foreskin is going to want to regenerate just by wearing a cotton cloth cap with silver lotion? I'm not wounding the penis like Dr. Becker did in his book, The Body Electric, and his patent that you can download at tinyurl.com/Becker-patent. Because there's no motivation. Why should the body care? It's a very old wound, probably as old as you've been alive. And then you can do other things like sleep in a sleep circuit that I'm working on developing that you can see over at the my other channel. What's it called? Charles Chandler Tornado Dynamics, Tesla's trimetal generator. It's a triple name title, and Michael Faraday's homopolar disc. This circuit, of Barbosa and Leal, so what? And then an earthing bed sheet. So what if you do all these things? What's the motivation? Well, masturbation might be. I said this in a prior video on my Vinyasa channel, on my Dr. Becker playlist, and I'm beginning to think, well, I have been thinking for some time, but now I think it's worthwhile stating what might not be obvious. It was not obvious to me that circulation and hormones are very important in the area of concern, in any area of concern that we want to regenerate, any body part. And in old age, there's a lack of both circulation and hormones. And stem cells are the key ingredient, but they're supported by the other two. So when I put the lotion on, before I put the cap on, I play with myself. And I normally wouldn't do that unless I felt the need. I would just put the lotion on and put the cap on and be very perfunctory about it. But I'm beginning to suspect that that's not good enough. That it's necessary to improve circulation and hormones to make the penis feel like, just like you exercise a muscle or you use a bone by bearing weight, and so the body builds the bone, it builds the muscles because we use it. The foreskin is all about urinary health, because that's how the foreskin developed in the first place. It was when the urethra developed, when during the third trimester of our development inside our mommy's tummy. But it's also tied into our sexual health as well, as a kind of additional factor. So, oddly enough, sex improves urination, the ability to urinate, because the two are tied together. And so the health of one is the health of the other, and it's pretty hard to avoid a little stimulation when urinating. And so this is just one more factor in the process of focusing on trying to regenerate a foreskin that can't be overlooked. Yet, when you look at all the online help for enlarging the penis, the one thing they do say is don't take orgasm, particularly ejaculation, to excess, because that'll deplete the various hormones, minerals, and whatnot of the physiology that is meant to aid and assist in developing a larger penis. Because actually, now that I know more, I can safely say that penis enlargement is part of the process of foreskin regeneration, because the penis atrophied, it shrunk, in the sense that it never grew to its full potential because of the circumcision at birth. That drops the testosterone levels that would have developed had the foreskin been there. And they continue to drop so that the person becomes impotent by the time they reach the age of 50 or more or less. You know, they have that to look forward to. And only in this country, in the United States, because circumcision is done so frequently. In other countries, it's their culture that they're so active, the men into their old age, sexually active. Yeah, indirectly that's true, but not directly. So penis enlargement is part of the process, and it can't be overlooked. And whatever helps enlargement of the penis through natural means, okay, not through vacuum sucking, through natural means of like nutritional support, because when you look at all of the good suggested advisors of penis enlargement, that's what they put their big attention on, is diet and not pursuing sex to excess. But stimulation, though, an erection is part of the process because of circulation and hormones. What it does, provided you don't take it too far, you just do it frequently, just you don't take it all the way, but you keep it up frequently in order. And since I take a bath, I try to every day, to soak in silver hydroperoxide. You can see my silver ring, to soak silver into the body. I have to put the new batch of lotion on, to put a new foreskin prosthetic cover on, my cotton cover. So it gives me a chance to rub the silver into the skin, get it in there, and moisturize it, and put the cover on. So as much as I don't like that sexual stimulation depletes my creativity, it drops my level of consciousness slightly, that's the price I pay for wanting to regenerate a foreskin. That's the price I pay. Grounds me. Carlos Castaneda's mentor, Don Juan Matus, would always, well, not always, but he would sometimes say, one way to ground yourself if you're spacey is just grab hold of your penis. He didn't say what to do when you grab it, he just said grab it. And if you're right-handed, you might grab it with your right hand, and that's actually a partial biocircuit of Leon Ernest Eman right there. If you're right-handed, that would be, or even if you're left-handed, whatever hand you're dominant in, if you grab it with the dominant hand, it would create relaxation, as well as balancing of those two chakras, the hand being a minor chakra and the crotch being one of the major chakras. So there's something to be said about not ignoring our genitals. They're there, not to be ignored, even though we hide it in our culture, and that's a mistake, because they need to be not ignored, especially on the topic of foreskin regeneration.